What's going on there, citizens of the Reject Nation? Greg here. John, how's everything going?
So good, it's insane.
Insanity. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to watch from our good friend Paul. Heavy spoilers. Ant Man and the Wasp trailer breakdown today. We have not seen the trailer that was circulating online. I want to wait for the actual footage before seeing it in motion, but I'm just itching to hear something. I just want to know a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So even if I got some of the information in my noggin now, it's not going to be like when we actually see the trailer on display. So yeah, I wanted to watch this. Subscribe to Paul's channel if you haven't done so already. He is almost at 1 million subscribers. He well deserves to be. He's also a great dude in real life. Trust me, I talk to him almost every single day. Yeah, let's get to it. Let's see what's going on. Leave a like. That won't take too much of your time, so please go ahead and do it. Alrighty, enough chit-chat.
Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, and I've always liked that the Ant Man movies show that no matter what size you are, you can still get the girl. It's something I relate to a lot. And the little guy has made a big impact in the MCU. From what we saw at San Diego Comic-Con, Ant Man and the Wasp Quantumania has the potential to be one of the biggest or smallest movies in Phase 5, and throughout this video, we're going to be breaking down what happened in the teaser.
I mean, Peyton Reed did come out and say that he thinks this will change the MCU forever. And you don't often hear them say, change the MCU forever. You hear it a little bit more often than you expect. But I don't know. We'll see.
The hierarchy of power in the MCU is about to change.
Hoot hoot.
Kevin Feige announced at San Diego Comic-Con that this will be the first film in the phase, and we know from the trailer leak that it'll introduce Kang the Conqueror. He was of course brought up by He Who Remains at the end of Loki, and there's been a lot of chatter online after the event about how good Jonathan Majors is. Now what's interesting about Kang is that there's so many different versions of him in the Marvel Universe. Whether it's Rama Tut, Immortus, Victor Timely, Iron Lad, or whoever, you never know which version of Kang that you're gonna get. There are an infinite number of him across the multiverse, the majority of which have the ability to move throughout it, and therefore every time a character runs into him, it's a roll of the dice. Now Phase 6 will end with 2 Avengers movies in the same year, both of which will center around Kang and his dynasty. So lots of things are going to be happening in Quantumania that have big repercussions, and the first look gives some Jonathan Major things away.
Aha!
Now, you've either seen people filming
So
the
excited
ceiling
to
of
see
the
him on
event
screen
of it
again.
on Twitter, or you've heard people talking about what happens in it. Either way, I just want to go through it bit by bit and break down everything about it. Quantumania will heavily feature Kang, and this is going to be made clear from the off. According to people at the event, he narrates the new look from the beginning, and throughout it, we hear him saying, "You're an interesting man, Scott Lang. You've lost a lot of time, but time, it's not what you think. It's not a straight line. When you can see time the way I do, you can see everything." Which is
Everywhere all at once.
I should have been cast as Kang. No. Anyway, now this of course it would have been all right, wouldn't it? No, this of course is referring
American
to Scott
accent.
getting lost in the quantum realm after the events of Ant Man and the Wasp. Though to him it only felt like a handful of hours, the real world has had 5 years go by, and because of this, his daughter aged up from a kid to a teen.
Baby, 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 got your license to drive me.
Whoa, no, mate, get that off, get that off. Anyway, we know from the poster that Cassie Lang will be returning for the movie, and though she's now played by Kathryn Newton, she'll be a very big part of the adventure.
I gotta say, I feel bad for the actress who was cast in Endgame and is not returning for this. To my understanding, I could be wrong about this, but to my understanding, she was not informed that she would not be returning and instead just got, replaced. That being said, Kathryn Newton is a great, great actress. If you have not seen, oh my God, what is it called? The movie with Vince Vaughn and the slasher film. They switch bodies. Freaky.
Yeah.
She's great. She's great.
The first poster for the film shows her in a purple suit, and it's likely that she'll be becoming the character Stinger from the comics. She was also called Stature at one point, but I think they'll probably just jump straight to Stinger, as it fits better with the bug personas that the rest of the squad have. Now, from what my uncle could make out watching the dodgy clip on Twitter, there's a tiny blue beacon that opens up in the lab, and Cassie gets sucked into this along with the rest of the characters.
Oh,
it seems that they're experimenting on the quantum realm, and whether Cassie opens this up accidentally or someone from inside it pulls them in remains to be seen. My guess is that they're all taken there though, including Janet, who will likely help them to navigate the dimension. This can be slightly seen in the trailer, and Janet ends up donning her hooded costume that she had on in Ant Man and the Wasp when Hank was reunited with her. We don't know exactly what she got up to when she was down there, but it seems like she found refuge in Kang City, which exists in the dimension.
I just had a thought. I feel like to really sell the stakes and the like this threat, especially if, I don't know if Ant-Man's going to win this time around or not. I have a feeling Hank Pym is going to die.
He's definitely going to die in
my
this movie.
My feeling it's Hank who's he's gonna be ending up taking that plunge. So I don't know. That's just a theory that I have. Just watching this footage, it was like, I really feel like Hank's going to die in this one. We'll see.
Janet seems to be the age that she would have been on Earth, and we saw with Scott that the area he was in had time moving differently. So Janet likely found refuge for the 30-odd years she was down there and just chilled out watching heavy spoilers amazing videos, like in Subway. Now, according to the people at the event, there's a point in it where we see the group all journeying there, and it's filled with humanoids that have markings on their face.
Oh, cool.
There's also Kang's suit from the comics, which has the classic purple helmet with a blue face covering. In the source material, his skin was blue, but it looks like it's a suit here that he uses to travel through the quantum realm. There's apparently a lot of different looks for Kang in the teaser, with some even having his mask off.
Okay, so if I'm understanding this correctly, that it is he himself is not blue, but the way he dons the helmet and the way that illuminates is all blue.
Yeah,
okay.
And that echoes what a lot of people were chiming in the live stream we did too, who must have seen this footage and know better than we do, yeah.
Well, then everyone would be like, is he Kree related?
Oh, no! Yes!
These could be the same version of Kang, or as we've discussed, different iterations of him from different timelines. It's even possible that we saw this location in Ant Man and the Wasp, and if Janet found refuge here, then she could be used as a way to give some exposition on Kang. Now, though that happened before the events of Loki when the timeline was split, time moves differently in the quantum realm, so you have things happening there after the end of time, which is when the ending of Loki took place. Lots of timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff, but either way, Kang has encountered the Avengers before, or at least versions of them. In the teaser, Scott says to him, I don't know who you are, but you've made a big mistake. I am an Avenger. I should have done the accent for that. Might have got cast in a movie. Anyway, Kang replies by saying, you're an Avenger. I am a Conqueror. He also asks if he's killed them before, and he drops this completely nonchalantly, showing that he may have killed an infinite number of them across an infinite number of timelines. It's pretty wild, and it instantly sets up Kang as a threat that's not to be with.
That's badass.
Haven't killed you before. Yeah.
I did hear one thing from this. Maybe Paul's going to go into it. That Scott is like an author or something, and they hinted at that in Miss Marvel that he has his own podcast. Like he's getting a bit of an ego where he's like trying to ride some type of success or fame. He can't work at Baskin Robbins forever, So with that, with that line, with him saying I'm an Avenger, he does have a bit of an ego, and this is going to be a learning lesson for him as his ass and everyone asses are going to be getting handed to them.
This is the Scott Lang ego check movie.
But with, Kang being like, have I killed you before? Oh, that is so cool.
I can't wait to hear
that. That is such a cool line. that is
actually
awesome.
Spoken on screen. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now, whereas Thanos wiped out trillions of people with a snap of his finger, Kang has conquered countless timelines and, in some instances, killed far more than Thanos ever could. He wiped out everyone that ever was and everyone who would ever be in those timelines, and it's all in his quest for domination. Now, it looks like he's also going to be joined by the villain MODOK. According to rumors on the film, he will be played by Corey Stoll, who played Darren Cross in the first Ant Man film. You'll probably remember that he ended up getting stuck in the quantum realm himself, and he likely got picked up by Kang and drafted into his forces. Originally in the comics, MODOK was a character called George Tollerton, but it looks like they've changed things up a bit, and honestly, I think it works better with the story. We don't really need a big origin breakdown during the movie if he's simply Cross. So cross that off your list, you stupid bitch. Now, his design has been slightly changed up, and he's now more like a cyborg rather than being a giant human head.
I'm not entirely sure how I feel about MODOK being changed to just a cyborg look. Who knows? There's more looks to come. There's more evolution with the CGI to happen down the road. As it stands, though, it's like MODOK has such a specific look. And it is easy to make him look goofy. And it is easy to laugh at him in non-animated form. There's versions that you could totally make him like creepy and kind of scary. And people have wanted MODOK at times to have his own movie where he's the standalone villain for that film. But, if he is coming back, I just hope that he actually serves a true presence and isn't just there. You know?
Yeah. Not to just be like, look, another character. And I hope that the redesign is meaningful and isn't like too far. I feel like there's only so much you can redesign something before it's not that thing. And so, yeah, while the big head is a bit out there of an image, if they can bridge the gap or maybe make it such that he starts out more android and then becomes, you know, the MODOK that we know over time or something like that, I think that could be cool.
Yeah. All right.
Other miscellaneous things that happen are that we see Bill Murray at one point taking his glasses off. We don't know which character that he is, and as of now, we don't know anything beyond him seemingly knowing Janet. Now, there are rumors that he's playing Krylor, a character who popped up in the Incredible Hulk issue 156. Krylor was introduced and killed in the same issue, so there's very little to go off with him. However, he did live in the Microverse, so yeah, he'll likely be someone who lives in the quantum realm under Kang's command. Now, Marvel don't actually own the rights to use the word Microverse, hence the change to Quantum Realm, though I would have loved the name Microversemania. Either way, he does seem to know Janet, so maybe he was a love interest with her while she was down there, which would make things a bit awkward with
Oh, damn.
30 years, a long time.
Living a king's life. Never make a pretty woman your wife.
Don't quote me on that though, because I might be wrong, and I judged it. Sorry, I mean my uncle judged it off watching the corner of a video filmed on a phone. Now, he has glasses on that he takes off, and we could see in the first look that he looks human. So whether it's him or they did a different design, we just don't know. Moon Knight did something similar too, where they took a very obscure character in Arthur Harrow, and it just means that they can really do what they want with him while still giving a nod to the comics. Now, Murray has kept tight-lipped about it too, and when asked about the project, he said that he doesn't normally do movies like this, but he simply just liked Peyton Reed and got on with him. It's a nice reason to join it, and there's also a couple of cute shots that we get in the trailer. These center around Scott reading his own book out at an event.
Look out for the little guy.
After the events of Civil War, when he was under house arrest, and he's now become somewhat of a celebrity. The book is titled Look Out for the Little Guy, and it'll also complement his podcast, which was brought up during Ms. Marvel. Apparently, this has turned him into a bit of a celebrity, and instead of staying a hero, he's been out of action and is focused on this for a while. We actually see him and Hope at a premiere at one point, and he's carved out a big name for himself. Now, I got a lot of vibes watching, my uncle got a lot of vibes watching it, and hopefully he has better luck in the bedroom than
Your own
Termite does.
uncle.
He then gets a call from jail, and after picking it up, he's connected to Cassie. She's sort of doing what he used to do and breaking the law, but for the right reasons. However, he doesn't want her to waste her life behind bars like he did. He brings up saving the world again, which Hank calls him out for, as apparently he always does it. Now, this has created a gap between the pair, and
definitely
at
gonna
the
die.
moment, they have a strained relationship due to his constant need to brag. I think because of that, this movie is going to be about humbling Scott on a number of levels. Time to make that ego shrink down too, and we're not only going to have his daughter taking him down a peg or two, but also Kang. I really think Kang is going to wipe the floor with him in this movie, and that it'll end on him losing, which will set the villain up as a major threat. Scott will probably get a win against MODOK, but Kang has all the angles covered, and can probably beat him on a number of levels.
Actually, yeah, you make a solid point about inclusion of MODOK, because if they have one villain they can defeat, they're still heroic. But if they lose to Kang, or if Kang flees, or, something to do with Kang, variants of Kang. But it would be cool if they did have, at least one predominant Kang that you focus on throughout Phase 5 and 6.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do. I trust Jonathan Majors with anything that he does.
Surely.
Wildly amazing actor. Yeah, I'm excited for this, man. This is sounding cool.
Well, yeah, and then you could have it be that MODOK is like the physical fight villain for a lot of it, and then Kang can be like the intellectual villain.
True, yeah.
Beating the guy who saved the entire world, wowza, what a bloody great victory. But I think it's definitely going to set the stage for how dangerous that Kang is. I originally thought the movie might be some goofy trip through the quantum realm, but by the sounds of it, it's going to be extremely important. The Ant Man movies have always been sort of wildcards in the MCU, and though they're mainly comedies, they do have their big moments, and even a lot of stuff that had big ramifications in Avengers Endgame. It's all building to Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, which we now know will be directed by Destin Daniel Cretton. Anyway, from what my uncle could make out, the trailer looks really good, and I am excited to see where they take things next. Obviously, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the movie, and what you hope to see in it. So make sure you... Oh, crap, that one.
What I'm really hoping for is that if it is going to be more on the serious side, that it's not a film where people walk out complaining about the comedy undercutting the dramatic tension, something that you sometimes often hear with a Marvel movie. But that was a great video. Paul, excellent work. Seriously, subscribe to this guy. He deserves to be at 1 million. I hope he hits it within the next month at least. Leave a like. Let's end this with a... Flevolous Doran. Thank you, my buddy. It's a Marvel video, so, you know.
It's your video.
John wanted to shout you out.
I did actually. I was going to suggest it if you didn't say Flev. If there's anyone at the Patreon who I would want to step into a MODOK-like role, it's you, buddy. I just want to see a big Flev face with a bunch of little, you know, cool gear around it, because I think you would be a very amusing, very fun, very colorful character villain, a little kooky, a little quacky, but not, you know, far beyond the reaches of some dastardly deeds. That's you in my eyes, Flev. You come across so jovial and kind and lovely, but you could do some serious damage. I love you, Flev. Have a good one.